3-0 this week in the market, utilizing what I like to call top-down analysis. This is analyzing the larger time frame down to our smaller time frame to understand how the markets are moving. The markets are like a puzzle, and a larger time frame is like the frame of our puzzle, while the lower time frame is the intricate details. And if you don't understand the bigger picture, you can't understand the smaller picture. My name is Kyrien Idlebird, and I've been able to amass over 7 figures in funding, taking thousands of dollars in payouts consistently in the markets. And I actually just got moved up to a Pro Plus trader. I take profit trader, proving consistency over a 6-month period of time. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how we utilize top-down analysis to make money in the markets and how it actually transfers to real results. So the first thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to identify the direction on our weekly time frame. At the start of each week, I want to start with my weekly time frame and see just how the weekly closed, because that is going to help to give me some clues to how the markets could move for the upcoming week. How I like to think of it is we're market detectives, right? We don't have any crystal ball that's going to tell us what the future of the markets is going to do, but we can utilize the clues that the market has given us to actually formulate a plan on what we can expect to happen next, right? So based on the clues that we're seeing here, our previous weekly candle closed as a strong bearish weekly candle here. Now, what was I anticipating? The weekly to break the previous weekly, right? If we take a zoom out here, we are creeping up to some larger time frame area resistance on this weekly time frame. So let's take a look at this here. You can clearly see that we have resistance at this level here. Now, we're still anticipating price to go down. That's not changed, right? We're going to anticipate price to continue to go down. So what was I looking for? Let's actually type into our daily time frame. You can see the daily candle, previous daily candle closed as a strong bearish daily candle. So that means that sellers are still in the markets. This is the first trade that we took a look at. Now, what I want to do is now go for my 4-hour time frame, and can we still agree that price is creating lower lows and lower highs within this structure? A bearish structure is identified by if we're creating lower lows and lower highs. So now we know that our weekly time frame is bearish, our daily time frame is bearish, and taking a look now at our 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that price had a high, we came down, we created a low, we created a high, we created yet a lower low. So this confirms that, hey, this 4-hour time frame is still technical bearish. Now from this level, we actually want to dive down to our 1-hour time frame, right? Top down analysis, starting with our larger time frame, working our way down. So going back, we started with the weekly, then we moved to the daily, then we went to the 4-hour, and now we're at the 1-hour. So let's take a look at this 1-hour chart. On this 1-hour chart here, if we're zoomed in, we can clearly see prices creating lower lows and lower highs. Can we all agree that we're creating lower lows and lower highs? We created a low, we created a high, we created a lower low. So we can agree that price is in fact going to the downside. So what will we anticipate to happen? At the very least, we are anticipating price to continue pushing to the downside. Now, being that we're anticipating price to go to the downside, we're bear bias, right? This doesn't mean that I'm just only looking for sales. This just means that I'm anticipating the markets to continue going down. Now, we know the overall bigger picture, right? We are going down. But now we're going to use our finite details, that's our lower time frame, to anticipate where we could actually go down from, right? Because now that we know the structure, we need to be able to find the perfect place to get our entry. So what did I tell our team this week? Well, if we're broke through our previous low, our key resistance here is at our previous low. What does that previous low line up with? And I like to use solid whole numbers. So the number that I was looking at is 23,500. Why? Because this is the resistance that we have. And I need to wait for price to form a correction before I look to go to the downside, right? And if we were looking for a correction, where we want to see it at is some area of resistance. Why wouldn't I just sell from right here? It's because I don't want to step in front of a moving train. Prices already showed me that it's ran down to the downside here, and we have candles slowing up, right? These smaller candles here are an indication that price is in fact slowing up here, and I don't want to step in front of a moving train. Prices tanked so much, we're just going to wait for a corrective structure to form. Now, where could that corrective structure form to? Right into our resistance here. And like I said, I like to use solid whole numbers. So the area that I was actually anticipating price to tap into was that 23,500. Now, this is not to say that price couldn't go up. This is just saying that if price wants to go down, it would likely go down from here. So what we had to do, and this is very, very crucial because I only trade 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I do these top-down analysis at the beginning of my week every week so I understand where the market is going, and then I can formulate my game plan for the week. So we have to wait for that 9:30 open. Well, price pushes down on the open, and then we get this kind of corrective structure back up, right? Price is pushing up. This is currently 1 a.m. So we need to wait. This is 2 a.m. Eastern Standard, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? At 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, this is actually where we are at. We're market detectives. We're not predictors of the future. I'm only trying to see what the markets is telling me based off of the clues it's showing me, right? So we just tapped into that 23,500 area of resistance here. And look at the reaction that we had off of this 23,500. You can see here, if we go from here to here, that price is showing based off of this candle here that it is showing signs of rejection off of this level, being that price closed below this level. So now let's take a look at our lower time frame because we're now in session. So now we're going to take a look. Let's go to our 15-minute time frame. So from this 15-minute time frame, this is our 8:45 candle here. We do want to see that 9 o'clock candle, and I personally don't take an entry until after our 9:30 open. Now, our 9:30 open is when the New York session actually starts, and that's when the U.S. banks are trading, and it typically adds a ton of volume into the market. So this is 9:15 here. So this next candle will be our 9:15 candle. And now we're going to see our open candle. And what we're going to do is I always love to hop down to my 5-minute time frame from this level because my 5-minute time frame is actually going to show me my confirmation that I'm looking for. And what is my confirmation that I'm looking for? I want to see a strong move off of this 23,500 level on our market open. At this rate, it is currently 9:25, and so we have to wait for that 9:30 open. So now that we're going to wait for that 9:30 open, look at how this 9:30 candle opens. It opens as a strong bearish candle here, right? A strong bearish candle. So let's go back to what we were thinking. What was our overall thesis this week? We're overall bear bias, and we want to see the weekly take the previous weekly low, right? So our weekly low is right down here at this, let's say 23,100, and 23,100 was the target that I gave to all of our members in the VIP. So you can see the trades that we took based off of this 23,100, right? So if this is my larger time frame target and we're getting our lower time frame confirmation, now we just need to execute. So how do I plan to actually execute on this move here? So I wanted to see price actually give me a steeper move to the downside. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our 1-minute time frame here because this is going to give me my confirmation candle. So from here, I want to see a lower time frame shift. And now, as we've seen, price began to push to the downside, and it really didn't give us no lower time frame shift. It just started to push to the downside. So I had to be patient for some type of corrective structure to form in order to be able to get in on the trade that I wanted to get in on, right? And we really didn't see a corrective structure to form. This candle formed a retest, and then we kind of just got this continued push to the downside. Now, once we got here, where you can see that if we zoom out here, we're creeping up on a area of resistance in the markets, or excuse me, an area of support in the markets that we could potentially break through. If we break through this level at 23,374, I told my team that I was going to look for a retest. So we want to see it break through, come back and retest this level, and then we could look for a continued move to the downside, right? And what will we do in terms of our larger time frame target? Our larger time frame target is going to be back here at this 23,100. So let's see what price actually did. Let's zoom into this area here, and we're going to take a look at what price actually did. So we start to get a push up, and then we break through this level. Now you can see as we're breaking through this level, price pushed back in to retest this level here. Actually need to wait for a real retest. When price pushed down here, I didn't get in on this initial move, right? And why didn't I get in on this initial move? Because the 5-minute candle hadn't quite closed yet. I wanted to wait for that 5-minute candle to close. You can see it is 9:49 Eastern Standard Time. And so we had to actually wait for the candle to close. And once we got the candle to close, you can actually see how the start of this candle was. It was showing signs of rejection. So I wanted price to actually confirm to me that, hey, look, we are in fact going down to give me strong candle price action. So we had to wait here, right? Price pushed back up. You can see again, We had another candle push back up, but we still are holding this 23,375 level. Now, what do we see for our next candle? We got a strong bearish move off of this area of interest low, and we went ahead and took our sell from here. So I went ahead and I hopped in a sell, and where do we put our stop loss? We want to tuck our stop loss above that key candle area of interest high. And then where do we want to put our take profit? Well, we want to put our full take profit down back at this key area of interest low, down here at this 23,100 level. Again, that is our larger time frame area that we're looking for price to overall target to. You got to think of the markets as like a magnet. Your larger time frame is going to have that stronger magnet that price is attracted to those areas. So if we understand what our top-down analysis is telling us and how to read price action, this is how we pair ourselves up to see success in the markets. So what actually happened from this trade here? Well, with the next move down, we started to see price push to the downside with good volume. Once we actually broke above a 1-to-1 risk to reward, you can see we're up $800. We went ahead and moved stop loss to break even, taking the risk off of this trade here. Not only did I do that, but I went ahead and I closed portions of this trade. Not only did I do that, but I actually closed portions of this trade, right? And I can't do it on the bar replay, but I closed 50% of my trade after we hit the 1-to-1. Now, previously in the markets, we haven't been seeing crazy continuations. We still do want to see price run to the downside, but we wanted to go ahead and lock in some profits there. So what did we see happen after that? Price continued to push to the downside, giving us a solid move, right? At this point, we were floating about $1,200 in profit there. And so I went ahead, like I said, I took a little bit more profits and then price pushed back up. And what did we see? The rest of our trade got taken out at break even. So that's okay, right? Where am I still looking for price to draw to? I'm still anticipating price to go to the downside. But now we just have to be patient, because what is our larger time frame telling us? That we're trying to retest this larger time frame area of interest. So we were able to make money on that trade, but that wasn't the only trade that we took this day, right? How did we react off of this level here? You can see price began to push down, and then it began to still respect this level. This is telling me that this 23,375 level is a strong area in the markets. So what am I looking for? I want to see price continue to push to the downside. What did we actually get? We did get a break below this low here. And when price began to push down, I actually did not get the very first trade. But once price came back down here, we were able to capitalize on this move down to this 2,300. So how do we actually execute on this move here? If we dial down to our 5-minute time frame, what I wanted to see was the 5-minute time frame break below our resistance here, right? So we have to wait for that break. And again, this is all based on our larger time frame analysis that price would gravitate towards that 23,100 low, right? So we wanted to see price break through this area of resistance that it had formed. And once we actually get a break here, that's when we're going to look to execute on our trade. So you can see a clear, clean break below this low here. Now we want to dial down to our 1-minute time frame and see how our 1-minute time frame is reacting. Can we get a retest off of this level and potentially see a continued move to the downside? Price is pushing up. We got this retest here, but we need to see a strong price action move to the downside. That is what is going to be our key to tell us, hey, price is in fact going down. Because you can see here, price is just still going up from this level. Once we actually started to see price push to the downside here, we got in on our trade. Again, so you can see price pushed back up into this area. We got a strong push down. We retested it again with this candle wick. We went ahead and took a sell move right here with a stop loss above this candle's high. And again, that target back down to that 23,100 low. Now, from here, we actually let this trade play out. And if you can see here, price continued to run to the downside. And as we were moving to the downside, what I did instead of taking profits, right, we went ahead and we just started trailing our key area of interest high, right? So you can see price pushed in a low, created a high here, and we created a new low. That allowed me to go ahead and move my stop loss in profit there. And we're still just waiting for price to hit that 23,100 key area of interest low. So we're waiting. And finally, we hit that area of interest low. I knew that this was a stronger time frame key area of interest, and that if we broke through this level, we likely would break with some volume. So I actually held my position here and let price continue to push to the downside, and I just continued to trail my take profit into profit, and I just continued to trail my stop loss into profits here. So every 5-minute candle high, I would just trail my stop loss above those 5-minute candles highs. So you can see as of right now, my stop loss would be right above this 5-minute candle high, which allowed me to capitalize on much more of the trending move here. And then we were finally, as you can see, taken out right there with this move. Now, I want to replay everything that we talked about, because how did we execute on this trade? We aced this trade. What does ACE mean? ACE is an acronym that stands for A, anticipation. How did we anticipate? We started with our top-down analysis, and that's what gave us our larger time frame targets. From there, we have to move to C, which is confirmation. We had to wait for our confirmation, which was price retesting a key area of interest and giving us a strong reaction to the downside to actually confirm that price wanted to go down. And then we need to we need to execute on this move. That means having proper risk management, having proper stop loss placement, trailing and managing our position properly, and that is how you ace every trade. Ace doesn't mean that you're going to win every trade. Ace just simply means that you did everything right to give yourself the best potential chance at success in the markets. And starting with the top-down analysis, again, how I like to think of it is rushing nesting dolls. Rushing nesting doll, you have this big doll here, and then each doll progressively gets smaller and smaller that is inside of this bigger doll, right? And so that's how our time frames work in terms of our top-down analysis. I need to know what our larger time frame is doing to be able to execute on the smaller time frame in that direction, right? And it comes down with being able to understand price action and being able to read the market. So I hope you guys got some value out of this video. We've been able to smash the markets this week utilizing this top-down analysis and just understanding what our bigger picture is, and then looking for that confirmation on the lower time frame. If you guys got some value out of this, I hope that you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, if you guys want to be mentored, I mean, personally, I do have a one-on-one mentorship, or you can join our VIP group where we trade Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every day with the team. So if you guys want to trade with me, you guys can trade with me down in the link in the description. I hope you guys got value out of this video. My name is Kyrien Idlebird. Peace.